Choujin X chapter 32.1. Now look, off the rip, I did not see all of them getting kidnapped coming. If anyone, I thought they were building up for it to be Azuma, because he hasn't really been the best out of the three in terms of controlling his own abilities. We've seen him go on a rampage. And I think he's the type of character where constant losses, especially with him being such a perfectionist in other aspects of his life, that mixed with the future dreams and the inevitable battle between Azuma and Tokio, it just feels like that's the type of route they're going to go with his character. But to see the Nomads gathering both Tokio and Azuma after searching for them for the entirety of this series is a crazy twist. And I'm interested in seeing what happens in the next chapters. Do we go immediately to the side of the villains, or are we going to focus more on Yamato Mori and other Choujin as they game plan or strategize on a way to recoup our main characters? I can definitely see some more Momoma screen time, as she's the one Ichiro has summoned to meet with him, but I just don't know how soon we're going to get into that whole MC retrieval arc. And also with Shadow and Roha being there, maybe they also summon some Choujin from their district. Now, as for the Nomask, one thing that I thought was interesting to see, and just how they handle his character in general, it's like the more we see him, the more we learn about his abilities, the more curiosity remains. It's like, as a character, he's luring you in while moving away at the same time. It's like, I don't know how his powers work. I know he steals abilities, but is that string? I seen him twirling string in earlier chapters. Maybe that's the main source of his power. And he also has more patchwork on his arm than I expected. I thought it was just on his wrist, but we see some more on his upper forearm. And another thing I found very interesting was that the Nomask seemed way more interested in Ellie's ability than he was when he found out that Simon had one of the swords that he's been searching for. Rather than taking Simon right then and there, he decides to leave him be, as in that moment he knew he was being greedy and he had bigger fish to fry. However, when he seen Ellie, he was both intrigued and frightened. He didn't know if stealing her ability would result in him being damaged or stolen by her. And he talks about her ability as if it was something that he has never seen before, which makes me believe that the Nomad's stealing ability is more likely a scientific project or unnatural, where he has to go through some type of third-party means in order to be able to use other people's abilities, whereas Ellie is just in her nature. It is her Choujin ability. And back on my mysterious point about the Nomask, it seems as if he also just hires people as needed. They don't know too much about his plans. They don't know who else is in the Nomask's payroll. We had instances in earlier chapters where Nara was hired, the Snake Choujin, to capture Tokyo. And after they failed, once the Nomask hired Rurika and Ricardo, they seemed to have talked about Nara as if they didn't know who she was. They just said, oh, we just have to clean up this mess that some Snake Choujin made, which informs us that they weren't familiar with one another. And in this current chapter, we also see the distance of information between Yubiko and the Nomask. When she finally brings Azuma to the Nomask, she asks, well, are you guys related? Is there some type of special relationship? Is there a reason why you do not want me to off him? The Nomask gives these vague answers, and she's just left to say, oh, just pay me and I'll be out the way. And the biggest surprise for me in this chapter was Ichiro Sato coming in clutch. When his power was first being used on Hiroto Mori, my initial thought was Shadow was the one who was attacking. And as a community, I'm sure we're all thinking, yo, Ichiro is sus. But it is finally written within the manga itself, where we have Roha questioning why he returned. We also have Momoma sitting in silence as she's overhearing the conversations that Ichiro was having with either Roha or Shadow, saying, oh, my bad, I accidentally killed the witness. I know he could have gave us information. I guess I got a lot more to learn. But we also seen in earlier chapters as he interferes in an interrogation with Nara. He also fried her brain after the failed attempt of her retrieval of Tokyo, and in later chapters gives selective information to Simon, Momoma, and Ellie on Tokyo's whereabouts. And I think he only does this because he wanted to have Ellie killed. In the dialogue with Simon, he warns, we're sending Ellie to go in and scout, but if she gets caught, run away or else you will be killed, which in my opinion, I feel is too big of a mission for a new trainee. Speaking of trainee, Nara also had the information that Sandek had a new trainee, which no one should have known because she's only been in Yamato Mori for maybe, in manga time, maybe a week tops. So someone within the organization has been leaking information. And like I said, we know it's Ichiro, bruh. This has just been the most obvious that Shui Ishida has been with the character Ichiro. Everything else has been very subtle, very foreshadowy, you know? And Ichiro's interruption of the interrogation of Nara is very important because in future chapters, Ichiro pretends that he had no idea that Tokyo was being hunted, which was information that the interrogation Choujin had already dug out of Nara. If she were to ask the right questions, it is possible that Ichiro's involvement could have been leaked to Yamato Mori. But once again, another good chapter. He's starting to drop these things, bro. Like, it makes me think that he probably don't celebrate Christmas. He probably don't celebrate Thanksgiving. He don't celebrate nothing, bro. Because we've just been in chapter since October. It feels like we just been getting one every other week, maybe 15 days, in between tops. But I'm loving it. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Choujin X. Shout out to Sui Ishida. And dog, I'm telling you, bro, Momoma, she's next. Not to die, just to reveal a little, because we got the bikini shot, we got panties in this episode, we got fucking boobs too. Like, come on, bro, we need something. But peace.